Hey there, my name is Stephen Pollitt. I'm the creator of Source Energy Medicine, and today I have an extra special treat for you. I have the pleasure of introducing you to Carl Bartlett Jr., and I have been so looking forward to this, and I am super eager to ask you, Carl, how in the world did you go from being a celebrated jazz musician, right, an award-winning saxophonist and composer, to wanting to help people to heal themselves?
First of all, thank you so much for having me on your show. It's a pleasure. And a lot of people have asked me that. How do I go from being an award-winning jazz saxophonist to making relaxation music? Um, you know how you hear news stories, everyone listens to the news, you hear world events and you hear things about the economy. And around 2018, I really keyed in on a story. And that story was how many younger people and also baby boomers were being affected by stress and anxiety, and how disorders keep rising through the years. And that really affected me. And I said, being a musician, how can I change this? I'm not a medical doctor, but how can I change this? That's how deeply the story affected me. And I said, if I can give people an option that maybe they don't think is available through something that's creative, enjoyable, and effective in the form of music, but a certain type of music that when like amalgamated, everything together, can actually affect positive change in their bodies in terms of stress relief and in terms of anxiety relief. That is what I want to do, because making people feel better is great, but also making them healthier, that's another thing. And that's how I went from being a jazz musician to, well, I still am a jazz musician, but also playing relaxation music.
That's awesome, Carl, and super inspiring to me. Tony Robbins coaches people to get to their big why. Like, why is it that you do what you do? And he teaches that if I don't have a very strong, compelling why, when things get tough, when I hit a bump or get sidetracked, I'm just gonna quit. I'm gonna give up. So I love that. For me, what I'm hearing from you is your big why is you see. We really do have epidemic proportions of anxiety. There never before have there been more people taking antidepressants and anti-anxiety medications, which, there's no question about it. It helps to save people's lives every day. And yet we as humans, even before COVID-19, we as humans have never experienced the levels of stress and fear and uncertainty that we have been experiencing. And it seems it, was escalating, and now COVID-19 has just, broken the chart, and COVID's not going away. We have to learn how to how to live with an epidemic, with a pandemic, with higher levels of stress than I think our creator designed our physiology to cope with. So, I see all too often people turn to pharmaceutical drugs or recreational drugs, or to self-medicate, or alcohol to help to, and that's not stress relief, that's denial. And guess what, the next day the stress is going to be there and you're going to feel horrible on top of that. So bless you for having the heart that you have, and the caring for your brothers and sisters, and really wanting to take what I see, what I hear when I listen to your music is, there's no way that every time I listen to your music, it sounds, it's bigger than you, right? It seems to me like this is, the divine working through, using you literally as an instrument, and then you using an instrument to affect positive change in people. Yeah, jazz can certainly help to alter a person's mood, right?
Oh,
Certainly,
absolutely.
all music, right? It's the universal language,
Correct.
and sound healing has been part of our humanity since the very, very, very beginning. So I'm curious about, so it's 2018 and here we are, 3/4 of the way through 2020. That's a long time to be working on this project. Tell me a little bit more about that transition from having that, seeing the need, right, and wanting to help people to where you are today.
Well, seeing the need in 2018, actually seeing the need way before that, but just really keying in on just, the news stories that I heard at the time. Um, I was a middle school teacher, middle school music teacher. So, that was my day job. So my time was very much taken by that. So, 2018, 2019, and into 2020, that was my day job, a middle school music teacher. So, but all the while in that span of 2 years, what I did was I already had an advantage because I'd been a professional musician for 20 years. So I already had 20 years of experience just in terms of how intervals work, in terms of how harmonies work, in terms of how songs work, in terms of effectuating, the body's peaceful response, or just emotions in general. But what I also did was really, I united that with the study of relaxation music. And just, there's some cornerstones of relaxation music that you have to know about in order to do the music. It's not the end all be all by any means, but you have to, you have to be well versed in the actual, I guess, the genre of relaxation music. So I really started to implement that in my studies and in my practice. Why does this work in relaxation music? Oh, you can use sonic mantras here, instrumental mantras here, just different things that are present in relaxation music. So it was a really in-depth study of relaxation music combined with the knowledge that I already had jazz-wise, which gave me a really, really deep understanding, a core understanding of how sound and songs and harmonies and intervals really affect emotions. And so, when you talk about wanting to make someone healthier and really effectuate that peaceful response or that relaxation response, it's not something that you just want to jump into. You owe it to them to do your due diligence and do your homework about it. And that's what I did.
That's awesome, Carl. And really what I'm hearing is you are combining art and science,
You
right?
got
You're
it, man.
taking
That's it.
you're taking your passion, your history, your experience, your intuitive knowing, right? Just your own physiological response to all of the various kinds of music that you have explored over the years, but then also looking at it from a scientific perspective, right?
Right.
And trying to figure out, so why is it that certain combinations of tones or rhythms or harmonies elicit a certain physiological response and others don't? I think that's amazing, because that's very, very similar to source energy medicine in that it is it's very, on one hand, it's very, very creative and it's very free form, but on the other
Right.
side, there's a lot of ways we can look at it scientifically as
Hmm.
well. And I'm fascinated with that combination of the two. And I think it's a rare person who has the kind of brain that can a segue back and forth between left brain, right, the analytical, the scientific, the research, and then the creative, putting it all together and
Hmm.
creating it, right, bringing it
Right.
into life, into being.
Absolutely.
And so now fast forward, two plus years, you are about to launch something super special, very exciting for me. And I've had the opportunity to have a little sample sneak peek, which I'm grateful for. And I want to play a clip in just a moment. But so tell us all exactly what you're up to.
Sure. Well, what you just alluded to, August 15th is actually National Relaxation Day. And some people just don't know that. And there were a few years ago, I didn't know that. But that is when my actual business, my company is launching along with the flagship product. And the name of the company is Serene New You Sax, LLC. And the name of the product is quite simply Serene New You Sax. And so it's launching on August 15th, National Relaxation Day. And I figured what better day to release this relaxation music than on Relaxation Day? I mean, what, you couldn't ask for a better unifier than that. So, so that is going to be a very, very special day, August 15th, coming up in a few weeks, 2020, National Relaxation Day. And, you know, it was about 2 years in the making, because as I said, you don't want to just really rush right into something like this, because the issue of one's health is a really important one, and it's not to be toyed with. And, you know, and I just said to myself, I have to give my best. Music is what I love to do. I'm good at it. I've made a difference in people's lives so far. And I believe that this is really going to give people an option, a strong option towards stress and anxiety, not just relief, but overcoming it. And I really hope that people view music in a different light. And when I say a different light, I mean, music can easily make you feel better, no matter what the genre. No matter what the genre, you can feel better, but also in terms of health, the issue of health. I hope people can view music really in a hold in higher regard, you know, in regards to making them healthier. So that's what I'm up to. August 15th is the big day. And, you know, we're just pushing ahead and trying to spread the word as best we can, because this is really going to help a lot of people. And I'm glad about that.
So August 15th, 2020, National Relaxation Day. I love the synchronicity. I love the timing, and I love the way it is coming together. So what exactly is this that you're launching, and how can I get it?
So what this is a over 35-minute music recording, digital music recording, and anyone can get it starting August 15th on the company website. The company website is serenenewusax.com. serenenewusax.com. And before I go, I'll just spell it SereneNewYouSax.com. And it's over 35 minutes in length. It's a really powerful relaxation music recording. It features myself. I'm playing all saxophones, sometime a cappella, and sometime they are layered. And I also have natural wind sounds, which I'm also playing through the saxophone. And there's also a rain stick on there. So I'm playing all the instruments through the wonderful and powerful magic of studio. And you know, it's just a really, it's beyond music. Number one is health. This is really a restorative soundtrack. And I mean that because I really made it with love. Like every note that I played, I was thinking about, how is this note, how is this phrase going to help someone overcome stress and anxiety? And that's what people aren't just going to hear, but they're going to feel it. And so that's what this music track is all about, Serene New You Sax.
That's awesome, Carl. And I love the length of it, right? It's not, you know, your traditional 3.25 minutes, or, you know, it doesn't fit into, you know, a certain format. And, you know, so I love how you say this is, you know, I take what you are saying and I look at, you know, so I meditate, I do yoga, I eat really well, I exercise, get out in nature as much as possible. And this sounds to me like this is another tool I can add to my daily regime of taking care of myself, of loving myself, of healing myself. So do you have like ideal recommendations for should I you know, do a 30, 35 minute, 40-minute relaxation, like lie down and listen to it, or have it playing in the background while I'm working, or listen to it while I'm driving? I'm sure each scenario would probably elicit a different effect. I'm curious what you think would be some good options for listeners.
And each scenario would elicit a different respect. I would probably, if you want to listen to it while driving, maybe okay, but this is the type of music that, you know, obviously lying down, whether you're lying on a bed or whether you're sitting on a couch, a chair, even if you want to take a leisurely walk or jog in a park, you know, and just enjoy nature. This is for all of those scenarios. If you practice yoga, if you practice meditation, this is really for that. There's no real one way that you can listen to it. You can listen to it many ways. If you want to listen to it as background music, I suppose that you can. I think it'll still have an effect on you, but there's nothing like whether you lay down or sit down when you have your headphones on and you're just focused into the music. It really puts you in just a whole other world, of just enjoyment, of receiving the benefits of the music, when you're really focused on it. So I would say if you can, whether you're laying down, sitting down, or taking a leisurely walk, those would be probably the best. Driving, this is the one type of music that I would say, if you fall asleep, it's a good thing. So I would probably guard against maybe driving with it on, potentially, because it's powerful music. And, but in terms of sitting or walking, that's fine. You can enjoy it in many ways.
That's awesome, Carl. Thank you for those tips. I do like what you shared about wearing headphones, having some intention, giving myself 10 or 20 or 30 minutes where this is all I'm going to do. I'm not going to multitask. I'm not going to do 4 things at once, and one of them is going to be hopefully glean some healing benefit from this beautiful track. But I'm going to carve out 30 minutes in my day, and I'm going to find a nice comfortable spot, get as physically comfortable as possible, put on some headphones, and really enable me to be able to listen to this in every way that we could possibly absorb the music and the benefits. So to me, it's part of honoring the healing process, and I think in part it's honoring the the time and love and intention that you put into every note and every phrase, and then of course putting it all together. And I got to tell you, I think I have a pretty good ear for picking out instruments. And Valerie will often say, like, what is that instrument? And it's in an ensemble, and I think I'm pretty good at identifying different instruments. And when I was listening to your track, I had to go back and reread what you sent me, because I said, there's no way this is all sax. There is like no way, which I think is, so amazing and so beautiful. And gosh, the things that you are able to do with both the acapella and the layering is just very, very, very inspiring. So, okay, so we could talk about this all day long, but I want you to experience it. So I'm going to cue this up, and I'm going to play a sample from Carl's new release, Serene New You Sax. Check it out. Carl, I want to focus our time together today really on this new release, on your new launch, on your new project. But if you are open to it, I would love to have you come back and we can do a much more in-depth interview. What you've shared with me about your story, your history, your background, as well as your inspirations and what you're looking forward to in the future. What you to my story is, you've already had an amazing life and you're super young and passionate, and you are going to have an even bigger, more massive impact in this world. So I'd love to have you back and have an opportunity to be able to do a much more in-depth interview to learn more about you and to understand your all of those parts, right? Your history, your background, your passions, and where you're going. So if you're open to that, I'd love to have you back and share more with our audience.
Sure, my pleasure. I'd love to be back. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you again, Carl. So for everyone watching, scroll down. I'll include links to Carl's website, direct link to Carl's website. You could check out a snippet, a sample of what is coming. August 15th, 2020, National Relaxation Day, and the launch of Serene New You Sax. You don't want to miss this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye for now.